So I learned Italian. I learned the most Italian anyone has ever learned, and it went very well, as you can see here.
Ciao. Ciao.
Prendo un caffè, per favore. Qual è grazie. Grazie. Oh,
Vedi?
sono circolo. Grazie.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Grazie a voi.
Incredible. How do I do it? How do I achieve all of that in 3 mere months? Amazing. Okay, but really, I'm going to give you 3 of my tips to avoid that. 3 tips to get the most out of your language learning if you are actually traveling to a country for the first time. Number 1 is to start early. It's obvious, but you have to do it. If you are a first-time language learner who has just gotten the opportunity to travel to a foreign country and they happen to speak the language that you've been dying to learn, you might be tempted to think, oh, I'll get to go there and I get to learn the language. No, you don't. You get to stay at home and prepare and learn the language at home before you get there. What your goal should be is to reach a critical point where the amount of language or the language that you hear in the country is not overwhelming for you. And on the other hand, if you wait to start once you get there, you're gonna have 2, 3, maybe a month in the country where everything is gonna be vastly overwhelming for you. So you need to start early to avoid a situation like me where you only order gelato 50 times and call it practice. Don't be like me. Likewise, starting early also gives you another advantage. Because we live in this amazing global society, you have online resources available to you to meet native speakers during your language learning process ahead of time. You have the chance to make genuine friends via language exchanges online in a very safe environment, with the potential to meet them in person once you get to the country. You don't have to, but it is a huge advantage and a huge possibility that you might want to take advantage of once you get there, given that you've built a relationship with the native speaker or a local ahead of time. Something to think about. There's a lot of apps out there for this, like Tandem or HelloTalk. Tandem is personally my favorite, and I have personally had very good experience with it, and I've built 2 lifelong friends through Tandem, and I'm quite satisfied with it. Of course, be careful with these apps. You want to definitely vet the people that you're talking to, make sure you build a good relationship with them ahead of time, and always video chat with them multiple times so that you get a good idea for who they are. Most of the time though, almost 100% of the time for me personally, you will come across genuine people. Number 2, if you are shy, don't be shy. Seriously, I'm a shy person, and if my goal is to speak the language, then you have to speak the language. Granted, other language learners have different goals. Some people just want to read in the language. Some people just want to watch films in the language. Some people just want to listen to music in the language. But if your goal is to specifically speak and have conversation in the language, you have to put your shyness aside. You're gonna feel stupid. You're gonna feel dumb, because that's what society has taught adults to feel when they don't know what's going on. But as a language learner, you are in a very unique position where it is acceptable for you to feel stupid and dumb and out of place, and it is acceptable for you to say the wrong thing. And if somebody thinks otherwise and makes fun of you for it, you know, whatever. Of course, that's easier said than done, but the advice still stands. You do have to get over it at some point if you want to verbally use the language. Because if you do step out of your comfort zone, you get to have awesome conversations with locals that you might not have otherwise had. You get to chat with locals about their families, and they'll ask you about why you learned such and such language, because it's not as common for English speakers to learn languages. And you get free limoncello everywhere you go if you happen to be learning Italian in Italy. So little perks like that, little small moments that putting your shyness aside does really makes this all worth it. I highly recommend doing your best to step outside of your comfort zone. You are, after all, in a different country, traveling, and that's the whole point of travel, right? Is to get outside of your comfort zone. So do it. Do it with the language too. My third piece of advice is to go alone. If you've already planned your trip and it's with a group, that's still fine. What I really mean is to at least schedule some times for yourself to go out and explore and talk to people alone. Because, in my opinion, language learning is a little bit deeper than we generally think of it as. And I get this idea from this used college textbook, Language, Its Structure and Use by Edward Finnegan, who has this quote in it that has really stuck with me. Because the language variety you acquire becomes part of your social identity, the acquisition of a second language must be seen not as just an intellectual exercise, but as an enterprise that affects or alters your social identity. It affects or alters your social identity. And so if you're exploring this language, you're in an act of changing yourself. I don't want to be too over-romantic about it, but I really feel like that's true. Part of Italian is becoming a part of you. Part of Mandarin Chinese is becoming a part of you. Whatever your target language is, it is becoming a part of you. Language is a weird thing that once you learn it, it sticks with you forever. Even your second languages stick with you forever. Compare this with other things that you learned in school, like a list of facts. You've forgotten those. Those don't stick with you forever. Those lists of facts that you learned in school didn't change your social identity. Learning a language does. And so what I'm getting at is that if you're with other people when you're trying to explore your language, those people are part of your previous life before you integrated this language into your life. So it's cool to impress your friends and order in, perfect French if you're traveling through France with them. That's cool too, but schedule just a little bit of time for yourself to go out and explore the language on your own. I highly recommend it, and this is how I got a lot of my practice in when I was in Italy. And that is it for my 3 tips to take into account if you are trying to learn a language to go travel. I hope some of this has been useful for you, or it has at least given you a different way of thinking about things. If that has happened, I am happy about that. Thanks.
Posso farti una domanda?
Sì,
Qual è la specialità della regione, della piatta più popolare di Sicilia o Palermo?
dipende. Piatto da mangiare come pasta.
Come pasta, sì.
E allora c'è la pasta con le sarde, che la conosce chiunque. Pasta con le sarde, sardine, fish
Sardines,
e fennel. E poi c'è pure la pasta a forno, che è pure conosciuta.
E forno?
Forno sono anellette con tritato, piselli, melenzane, prosciutto,
O pasta con prosciutto?